When ancient legends collide with modern science, the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Join us on a thrilling journey as a team of scientists and astronauts embark on a perilous mission to unlock the secrets of a mysterious asteroid storm. But as they push the boundaries of teleportation, they unleash a horror beyond their wildest imagination. Can they survive the wrath of an ancient evil? Or will they become its next victims? Let's dive in to uncover more. The film begins with memory of June and Alice sitting on a cliff with their father, a scientist. Their father talks about giant rocks that had descended upon Earth, legendary species that were extremely powerful. However, Thunderbird battled and defeated these legends. But the giant rock is still out there somewhere and will rise again. Their father gives them a Thunderbird talisman for their protection. The scene then shifts to a car speeding on the road. Corey, Alice, and Mark get out of the car, accompanied by Susan. They are here to establish a connection with the PAX orbiting space station from Earth. The team is about to conduct its first teleportation experiment. They will start with a small object, and then proceed to larger and biological objects. However, to do this, they need to perfectly align the transmitter with PAX's orbit. As we can see on the screen, the Team Thunderbird communicates with the space station, where Elizabeth, John, Kyle, Stuart, and Rose are present. The gate opens and June joins them via video communication from the control room. All levels are sealed, and the receiver is engaged. The projectors are locked in place to receive the object. On Earth, Alice places the mini Thunderbird necklace on the transmitter and adjusts the angle towards the orbit line. Mark instructs Alice to step away and initiates the transfer. In the space station, the emergency alarm blares due to the energy level reaching a security point, and June advises aborting the mission, but no one listens. On Earth, the object teleports from the transmitter and materializes at the receiver in the space station, causing a brief chaotic situation before everything returns to normal. The transfer is successfully completed and everyone appears pleased. At night, Stuart and Elizabeth visually communicate with Mark on Earth to appreciate the successful transfer of the trinket, while Alice is sitting with Corey. After a while, Alice heads towards the lab, and that's when Corey notices shooting stars through the telescope. We see an asteroid storm approaching Earth and the space station, triggering a danger alarm in the station. A high-impact collision damages a portion of the station's outer surface, causing chaos inside. When Corey mentions the shooting stars, Mark looks through the telescope and sees the asteroid storm heading towards Earth, where it causes widespread destruction upon impact, and the team barely escapes. On the other hand, in the space station, June restores gravity and exits the control room when a strong air storm causes a gate to swing open, knocking her down. She barely manages to catch herself on a rod, preventing a fall. June then locks the gate using a nearby button and stands up. The next morning on Earth, the team inspects their equipment, which is largely destroyed due to the asteroid storm. Alice picks up a radio phone and heads to the lab with Corey, while Mark and Susan stay behind. Meanwhile, on the space station, John puts on an oxygen mask and begins to survey the station, collecting some rocks as samples for analysis in the aftermath of the storm. At the same time, June is with Dr. Singh, injured but without any fractures. However, she has some serious issues, and the doctor advises her to take a break, but June refuses because her teleportation missions are not yet complete. Dr. Singh then gives June a special tele-delivery, which is the Thunderbird necklace that Alice had teleported, originally given to June and Alice by their father. Just then, John arrives with an injured hand. John gives June the rock samples that came into the station with the worst asteroid storm, 1 minute after the teleportation test. June heads off to hand over the samples to Dr. Stewart, while Dr. Singh keeps John here for a while. After some time, we see John lying on a stretcher, starting to shake, and the wound on his hand begins to glow red. He sits up and his entire face starts to glow red in a strange and terrifying way, and his eyes also begin to glow red. What happened to John? How did this transformation occur? Or is John the monster himself? We will find out as things progress further. On the other side, Corey and Alice arrive at a gas station due to a fuel shortage, where Alice picks up some water bottles. Corey notices a strange painting and then a book that apparently belongs to Alice's father. As they talk, Alice mentions her father, triggering a flashback that shows Alice and June with their father, the same scene where the film began. Their mother tries to take them back, and Alice remembers that she left the necklace behind, prompting June to go back for it. Their father was a frustrated man who saw himself as a failed scientist, husband, and father. From that day on, June focused solely on her astronaut passion, to the point of even forgetting about Alice. In PAX, Dr. Stewart and Elizabeth are seen analyzing rock samples, which reveal that they are fragments of one or more S-type asteroids. Meanwhile, Dr. Singh gathers everyone to show that John has disappeared, and a giant spider-like rock is stuck to the window with a red glow at its center. According to Dr. Singh, John transformed after touching the space rock. They need to inform the people on Earth not to touch these rocks, but their connection with Earth is lost. On Earth, Susan and Mark are near the equipment, where Mark checks the equipment and a broken glass falls out. A few seconds later, Mark starts to feel strange. Susan is trying to contact Alice, but Alice left her radio phone in Mart. However, she then retrieves her radio phone. In PAX, the team collects a sample of the giant rock and scans it, detecting a heartbeat, meaning John is alive inside the rock. On Earth, Alice tells Corey about the legend of the Phoenix from 12,000 years ago and notices strange formations on the ground. She tries to contact Mark and Susan, but the connection isn't working, so they quickly get into the car to leave. In PAX, Dr. Singh is still busy scanning the rock when suddenly a hand movement is visible in the giant rock. Dr. Singh approaches to take a closer look, and a strange hand emerges from the rock, attacking him. I'm afraid all these astronauts are likely to die now. In the control room, June loses power and notifies the others. Rose exits the room to investigate and is confronted by a terrifying alien-like species that immediately attacks her. June enters Dr. Singh's room and finds the giant rock shattered, with Dr. Singh's dead body nearby. She promptly informs headquarters, which detects 2 human lives and 1 unorganized life form around June. Elizabeth checks the cameras and sees that an unknown creature has killed Rose. On Earth, we see Mark's condition deteriorating, and he reveals that it's due to the fragments because he touched the space rock. He can't even walk anymore. Mark gives Susan an important chip and sends her away from there. In PAX, June arrives in the control room and takes Elizabeth with her. They gather Rose and Dr. Singh's corpses to release them from PAX. However, they notice movement in one of the corpses, as if someone is alive. Since a creature is already present in PAX, June doesn't want to take any risks, so she quickly releases the corpses from PAX. On Earth, Susan wanders around trying to contact Corey and Alice, but it's not possible. As she walks, she reaches a stable where she mounts a horse and begins her journey. Meanwhile, in PAX, June and Kyle take up weapons and exit the control room to kill the unknown creature. Elizabeth guides Kyle and June through cameras, helping them locate the creature. At one point, the creature sneaks up behind Kyle, and Kyle fires a flame at it, but the next moment, the creature kills Kyle. Now, we see the creature heading towards Sector 1, where June is hiding. June steps forward, firing a flame at the creature, which erupts in flames. Suddenly, the creature disappears. June tries to leave, but the gates won't open. Elizabeth asks June for permission to reboot the system. But first, June needs to wear an oxygen mask. June heads to the mask area, puts on the mask, and orders the system reboot while standing there. During the reboot, the rock creature approaches June because the light from her oxygen mask is visible. However, June closes her eyes, holds her breath, and remains still, and the creature thinks she's dead and leaves. After the reboot is complete, June runs, and the creature sees her and chases after her. But the control room gate opens, and June escapes inside, while the creature screams behind the door. On Earth, Alice heads towards the Zoe's gate with Corey, but she fails to open it remotely. Within moments, mountains start exploding and a giant creature becomes visible. Seeing this, both of them get into a car and start fleeing. Do you think they will survive this monstrous creature? Let's see. Meanwhile, in PAX, June and Elizabeth exit the control room again to survey their surroundings. They spot a creature, panic upon seeing it, but it turns out to be unconscious on the floor. On Earth, Corey and Alice have reached the lab, where there are photos of astronauts. Corey powers it on, and we see that rock shells are present here too. Alice sits in front of the computer when suddenly Corey covers her mouth to silence her because the rock shell is activating. Both of them hide under the table as the creature emerges from the rock shell. In PAX, June sees the giant rock creature on Earth, and Susan also spots it. In the lab, Alice and Corey locate the same creature on the screen, heading towards Phoenix. In PAX, the team examines the creature and then contacts Alice to discuss the giant creature on Earth. Susan also contacts Alice, describing what she's witnessed. Now, their mission is to teleport the giant rock monster to PAX. To do this, Alice exits the lab with Corey, and they see rock shells scattered along the way. At one point, they stop and connect the monitor to the transmitter. Then they need to align the three corners of a triangle and press the triggers simultaneously. For this, PAX will send a countdown. Will they succeed in this transfer mission, or will they become prey to this rocky monster? It will be revealed next. Alice instructs Corey and then heads towards Susan, who hands her a crucial chip. Alice carefully installs the chip in the equipment while heading towards their destination in the Jeep. And at one point, both of them gaze out in horror as the monstrous creature approaches from the front. It's a truly gigantic and terrifying creature. Witnessing this monster firsthand is a test of bravery, indeed. Meanwhile, Corey stands steadfast at his designated spot, ready to activate the teleportation process. When everyone presses the triggers simultaneously from their respective positions, the giant rock monster begins its transfer to PAX's receiver through a complex network of triangular waves. This is their most ambitious mission yet, and the team holds their collective breath as they work in perfect synchrony. United, they successfully teleport the gargantuan rock monster to PAX, overcoming seemingly insurmountable odds. Just as the main creature is being transported, a smaller rock monster charges towards Corey, but he swiftly reacts, using a stick to deflect and destroy the attacking creature. With the giant rock monster now fully transferred to PAX, the team erupts in jubilation, their faces beaming with pride and relief. This triumphant moment marks the thrilling conclusion of the film. The team's bravery and ingenuity ultimately prevail, harnessing the power of science and determination to safeguard humanity's future from ancient evil. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and comment below with your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe for more thrilling content.